Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Father Knows Something. And Justin and I are here with you this evening.
Yes.
And Shoehorn made it. Holly made it. Horsey made it. The propeller made it.
What if we brought one of the horses on set?
That would be interesting to bring a horse in here. I'm not allowed to wear my shoes in here. You guys are going to bring a horse in here. That's new.
And you could sit on the horse on the saddle the whole time again.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Look forward to that one. I had a brainstorm this morning and I said, sometimes we might think that someone we were with, somehow conjured up a wicked, hex on you.
Yes.
You ever heard the song, "We got a hex on you"?
Yes.
So any of you writers or any of you people out there feel that someone put a hex on you somehow to make your life a little more miserable because you broke up with them or something changed.
Or you could just feel like you're cursed in general.
If
it doesn't
you feel,
necessarily have to be from a relationship.
Whatever, if you got a goofy story, a spooky story, or a story on the fact that you feel that, something's been conjured on you, write it on in. Let's hear it. Let's read them. Because obviously I have no expertise in this, but I thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to read on and see what kind of things we came up with it and if we have any answers.
I mean, there's had to been a point in your life where you're like, I must be cursed.
Yes.
When just a bunch of bad stuff happens in a row.
Yes. And I've been wondering this lately. So that's what made me think about it.
I see.
All right. Let's just get into this episode. Story number one.
Number one. I, 20 male, started dating this girl, 19 female, a few months ago.
Okay.
Things started off really great. We communicated well. We were attracted to each other. She felt like my best friend and someone who I could spend the rest of my life with. I know it's weird to say something like that after a few months, but I don't know any other way to describe it. A few weeks ago, she told me that we needed to talk and that she wanted to break up. It wasn't anything that I did, according to her, but she couldn't keep lying to her parents and hiding this from them anymore. Her parents are really strict and don't want her to date. I knew this early on, but wasn't expecting us to get so close as quickly as we did, which is making all this really hard. She broke up with me right before our birthdays and Valentine's Day, which made things even harder. Ideal outcome. I want to wait for her, but she told me initially that I shouldn't and that she isn't worth waiting for. I want to give her the space she needs to heal, as well as work on myself in the meantime so that someday we can try again. I'm just not sure if I should do that or just try to push forward and move on. Please, any and all advice would be appreciated.
Couple thoughts, first of all.
Yeah.
Breaking up before the holidays, I actually think is okay because it doesn't mislead anything. Get your hopes up and, it really brings the message. The bottom line is that you didn't lead each other on to go to go through the other couple of days knowing this thing is going to tank out, in 22 minutes. So I get the fact of just, rolling forward.
Yeah.
As far as waiting for her and work on yourself, no one said that anything was wrong, except for her parents don't want her dating. So I don't know what you're working on with yourself, except just growing, which we're all supposed to do. Even when you're 67 years old, you're supposed to still grow.
Yeah.
Which I'm working at it, guys. I'm working at it. So that all said, you broke up. You need to heal first. And because you were in love.
Yeah.
You thought this person was it. So get yourself busy. Don't worry so much about falling in love, but stay busy. Take something that's going to occupy your time. You're not going to be able to think about her, or try not to at least, but
right.
You're going to be thinking of new things and going forward. That's the first step. People that say, I'm broken up, I'm going to start dating, I'm going to start, making the rounds. Yeah. I really do feel that you should go find stuff to occupy your mind and heal. That's the best thing you can do. And then, and it doesn't happen on a week or 2 weeks. If not, if it was a significant relationship. Meanwhile, while you're busy doing whatever your self-improvement is and finding your new hobbies or whatever you're going to go build Noah's Ark, whatever your thing,
Sure.
whatever
Yeah.
your ark
Yeah.
is,
Go for the arc.
she is having time without you. And we know you're going to be thinking about her because you don't have that kind of passion and not think about that person.
Right.
But we'll see if she misses you. And if she comes and says something to you or decides that, I'm 19 years old and it's not that I want to defy my parents, but I'm going to let them know quite clearly that I'm a woman and I like this person and I'm going to go spend time with them.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different place to go when you're finally coming out of the nest and you're springing, moving those wings and you're spreading them and you're letting those feathers dry out to start flying.
Yeah.
And so give her a chance to see what she does do, but you're not waiting for her. You are moving forward by making yourself active. And who knows, you might meet a new friend. You might, find some other connection that, that the universe has in store for you. We just don't know what the universe has in store.
Yeah.
And this is a thought that I live my daily life with. Dad has been dating for years, trying to find that person. And some people here don't think that Dad takes relationships serious and he doesn't want, to find somebody. We all want to find somebody. We're all always thinking that our destiny is out there. But you have to know that if you make a mistake or you had a good period and you had some growth and you've got to share time with someone that was very special for you and it didn't work out, there will be more. There's always another special one out there.
Yeah. Well, on the other side, the reason being her parents don't want her to date. That's a whole thing in itself. But she actually thought that was more important than you and her's connection. So
she's saying, she's blaming it, she's putting it on her parents. That may not even be any of the real reason.
But even if it was, right? Even if it was, she still didn't choose you. She still chose to, succumb to that. So I think you're in a place where it does make sense to move forward, continue your life. It's a tough deal anytime anyone's going to wait around for somebody because what if it never happens? And then you look back with regrets.
And how long do you wait? I mean, it's just, you, like I said, you got to start your life. I didn't say you have to go fall in love. You have to date.
Yeah.
Go activate, re-engage with life.
Well, and right here, on additional info, we both attend the same college. I'm from this town, but she lives a few hours away. I'm currently a senior and about to graduate with my bachelor's in computer science and have a job lined up to start in the late summer/fall. She, on the other hand, is only a freshman right now, working toward becoming a doctor. I am worried that after I graduate and I won't be seeing her on campus as often, that our friendship may fade and there will not be a second chance after I leave campus. And so also with that additional info, we're kind of, though we're both in college, we're at a little bit different life stage. You're about to graduate and move on to your job and your career's waiting and here you go. You're off to the races. She's still kind of finding herself, finding her career. Yeah, she wants to go into the medical field, but she's at the beginning of the college journey and you're at the end. And honestly, there's a big difference between the two. Not saying a relationship couldn't work out, but more, time to just kind of look forward and just go onto this career and just
different journeys.
Hit the gas pedal.
You're hitting the gas pedal. She's got 8 more years or 10 more years of this stuff. By the time you start thinking of first this school, graduate, school, and then she's got intern residencies. She's got all kinds of stuff going to go on. That doesn't mean you can't have a life or a relationship with her. It's just a lot of growth that's going to happen right now. So her parents are kind of preparing her probably from getting involved and, getting, who knows?
Yeah.
They can't stop that. She's going to find relationships and whatever, so forth. But you know, there's a lot of things that are going to happen here. And I do know one thing about relationships. A lot of it is timing.
Yep.
It's the right person, the right place, and the right time, the right situation. You will hear these. There's three special ones, which I don't know the actual way it rolls, but it definitely is a factor of three. And with that being said, it may not just be your time. So go on. And if it's meant to be, it will be.
Right. But right now, it kind of seems like all these
Mhm.
signs are pointing in one direction.
Mhm.
It all goes together right now. So it's a tough one. Heartbreak is never fun.
I'm sure she really did enjoy your love and feels it. And, just we'll see where that takes you from what was there, but
Never know,
you
but don't wait.
you got to go on. You got to live.
Yeah.
And that's what I say by not waiting. Go and find things to keep your mind active, your social life active,
Yeah.
and be a whole person.
Yeah. You got a lot of good things coming.
Yep.
A lot of things ahead.
We are going to roll on to number 2.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2.
Hi, Dad, Morgan, and Justin.
Hello.
I've been a longtime listener of THT and just recently FKS. I need some advice if I'm making the right choice to break up with my boyfriend. Some backstory on my relationship with my boyfriend. We have been dating for 3 years and met on Tinder after I was single for about 5 years. I'm 29 years old, 30 in February,
Mm-hmm.
and my boyfriend is 30. We jumped into a relationship quickly as he moved in with me, my sister, and my niece within a month of our first meeting. He has a strained relationship with his family and was even homeless at a point due to his mom kicking him out and then his dad kicking him out when we met. He has a history of alcoholism and bipolar disorder, which we both connected on as I struggle with my mental health as well. I offered for him to live with us as I did not want him to be without a place to live again. Through the years we've been together, I feel comfortable when he is around and love the time we spend together and being able to talk about anything and everything. I feel like he truly makes me happy, but our relationship has always been a bit hard as I never felt supported by my boyfriend, and we have very different beliefs. I've shared with him that I feel like I'm more his mother than a girlfriend. I work from home, so I handle most chores and cooking, but my boyfriend is extremely messy and careless. We've had countless conversations about him picking up after himself or cleaning up, but barely anything changes, and we end up going back to me cleaning up. He is also a strong believer in God, but does not follow a religion. I am agnostic and have shared that I do not wish to teach religion to my future children. He usually gets upset when the conversation comes up and is disappointed in me that I do not believe in God. I accept that we can have different beliefs, but when we talk about the idea of marriage, he says to him, we are already married and only God has to witness our relationship and not a government. But of course, I would want to be more traditional and have an actual wedding. Recently, we have been arguing over politics and his support for Trump. I would say that I'm not very knowledgeable in politics, but see the reactions and the rhetoric that Trump spreads to know that I do not support him or believe he will help America. My boyfriend says my thinking is very negative and finds Trump to be a good person. When debating over this, my boyfriend sticks to supporting him and does not sway in any points I bring up. One of the last straws to break up with him was when we had a conversation about Trump's inauguration speech, saying there are only 2 genders, and my boyfriend said, scientifically, that is correct. My boyfriend has never been homophobic or judgmental outright, but when we talk about these issues, I see his true feelings. When I broke up with my boyfriend and told him these reasons, he said that he really would change and even said he would denounce Trump. My heart just says give him a chance because of the time we've had together and how comfortable I am with him. Recently, he has been sober and working on his health by going to the gym and taking daily vitamins, but I fear that these things are only for himself and not to better our relationship. I feel like I'm stuck on what could be possible because I saw a life with him and a family with him. Is there something that I could do to help him see the issues we have and to change, or should we go our separate ways?
Well, I will say this, that it is important in a relationship that you have the meeting of minds. That's really important. Now, I know couples that, you know, one half is a political uh, right wing, and the other half is a political left wing, and they're able to deal with it. Me, I would have a problem. But that
Yeah.
everyone has their own, acceptant level on how they communicate and letting someone have their own mind.
Hmm.
It to me got down to character and judgment. But let's take that out of it. What I do believe, and I practice this myself, is when there's a relationship that you're trying to work something out and they don't know really where they're at. And would be you, because he apparently is fine. He wants to stay together. Sometimes you just have to take a pause. And we say pauses aren't bad. Let them go on their own. Tell him that, he's 30 years old. He can certainly get his own place. He doesn't have to get in his own place because he didn't get a job. This might, make him get a job and go create a, a s- a way to support himself, because he
Hmm.
should have that. He's got to have a job. He's got to work. He's got to produce. He's got to be a part of growing up to take care of the house. So let him develop himself. Let him work on himself and to see what it is to be responsible. It won't hurt him. It will only help him and drive him to be a better version of himself.
And do what while he's doing that?
You get to be a better version of yourself. You get to go create a life, stay busy, do things. You don't have to sit around and wait. He needs to really discover how important it is for his values, what he wants to do. And then he can look, you may find someone that has a different set of values than what he has. I believe that we have to have integrity. We have to be able to tell the truth. We don't want to mislead anybody and tell things that aren't accurate. I believe in integrity,
Hmm.
and I want to surround myself with a person that has that. And when I do go out and I do find someone to be with, the one thing that I really do, not sacrifice on is integrity. That's the first thing. And maybe that's something that you have to find in someone that is, motivated and that they want to, create for themselves, and they know what to do and how to do it. And you see that, and that drive actually helps your relationship because there's things to talk about. You're interacting better. They're not sitting playing video games. They're not, getting drunk. They're not doing all they're focused.
Yeah.
A little tough love. And you may be there when he's done. You may not. You may have moved on. He may move on. He may go, down the street and find, somebody and say, "Wow, I never even knew this kind of person exists." And next thing you know, he'll, hang out with her for a few days, and she'll want him to move in too. I don't mean to be catty, but he's got to break that pattern of waiting, of moving in, because he's 30 years old. He is a man. He's an adult. He's got to go start doing things for himself.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot we could, say that he should work on and that kind of thing. But so what's your core message then for her?
Core message is take a pause. Continue on your path. If you're keeping score, I always say the game is over. You're already thinking about breaking up. You're already thinking about doing this stuff. Don't waste. Go ahead, do it, and see what happens. See what the fallout is afterwards. But you got to go pull the trigger and see if there really is an improvement there where they work on themselves. See if you miss the person. See if your life is fine without them. See if his life is fine without it.
Yeah.
It's hard when you have 3 years of codependency being with somebody. It's hard to make that move.
Hmm.
But when you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it for a reason. There's something going on.
Yeah.
Everything's got to line up. I mean, it should start lining up, and easily. Your infatuation's in the first 3 months,
Hmm.
and then you start getting really into it. And you got to make sure that things are lining up right then and there. And the questions of who you are and what we are, you got to, they got to start coming clear.
Yeah, I mean, especially, we're 3 years in,
Hmm.
and I know you mentioned that there's people out there who can be on the opposite ends of the political spectrum and somehow
They work at it. They
they
figure it
work,
out.
but what I'm seeing here is we have a major difference in religion,
Hmm.
a major difference in politics,
Hmm.
two very, very big ones. And we're not able to, coexist like this other couple you're mentioning. They're affecting our writer here. Then we have an issue.
Hmm.
And so those are two big ones. There's a lot of different reasons you're giving here to try and justify this breakup. And I think you're having second thoughts. And the part that sticks out to me is the sentence that says, "My heart just says to give him a chance because of the time we've had together and how comfortable I am with him." And that's one of the hardest lessons, I think there is to learn is no matter how long you've been together, no matter if someone saved your life or you have kids together or whatever the situation may be, the past is never a reason to stay together if things aren't good currently.
We got to look for the future.
And so you got to evaluate your relationship under a microscope, really. You can't look at the whole thing. We like to make decisions off of patterns, not off of a one-off.
Hmm.
But we have some big issues here. We have some patterns happening. And I ultimately think you're making the right choice for yourself in breaking up. Of course, it's comfortable to stay in it. Like we've been together for 3 years and,
Hmm.
we love our routine and that, but some of these things are way bigger than I think we're letting on here. And they extend, into marriage. They extend into kids. And you started to mention that stuff, but it just feels like we're holding it all together just because of the past. When, that'll just delay an inevitable outcome. A little bit additional info here. We've tried couples therapy in the past, but he was against it and never really wanted to be there, but went because I gave him an ultimatum. Eventually, I felt like we were wasting our time, and so we stopped going.
Remember one thing that she said? I feel like I'm his mother. Not a good sign. Not just
We've talked about that a lot
yeah.
in the past.
It just doesn't sound. I mean, to me, this is clear and simple. You got to work the muscle, and working the muscle is you got to walk away and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say you have to tell him that he's, we have to name call him. We need to be and get into a fight to get out. But I think the answer is, I think we need to really terminate our relationship and where we are today and see where we are as we go forward as individuals
Yeah.
and see if we miss one another, see if we can grow. And look, it's not that I want to start dating tomorrow and I want you to date tomorrow, but I think we've been together for 3 years. We have to, again, let's go through a healing process. Let's find ourselves, keep
Yep.
ourselves active. And I say that to everybody, no matter what happens when you're in a relationship and you get out, give yourself a chance not to do the rebound. Give yourself a chance to heal properly, get active in something different, do some self-improvement things, learn new stuff. You'll meet new people. It's all good.
Yeah.
Nothing negative. We throw it out there. You guys are supposed to take this stuff and process it in your head and say what works for you. We're not telling you what to do. We're giving you ideas on how to process this. And that's all I ever do is I give you ideas and concepts and the write-ins. People are going to have a lot of thoughts and comments. Read the comments, process it all and say which one works for you.
Yeah.
And that's really where we have to go with this one.
Yeah.
We're now going to move on to number 3.
Number 3. Okay, number 3.
3.
Hey, Jerry, Morgan, and Justin. I've been a loyal listener to your podcasts, Two Hot Takes, and Father Knows Something for over a year now.
Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it.
I feel like I've gotten to know each of you, and Jerry, I'm particularly seeking your advice as a father figure. I'm a 25-year-old woman in a 5-year relationship with a 26-year-old man. We faced significant challenges, including my abortion 2 years ago and his infidelity on a bachelor trip shortly after. Despite forgiving him, I've noticed a shift in his priorities. He spends most of his time at the gym, working, or gaming for literal hours, leaving me feeling neglected. I've communicated my needs to him, expressing my desire to be prioritized and to spend quality time together. However, he hasn't made a significant effort to change his behavior. We briefly broke up 5 months ago, but got back together after a week. Since then, things haven't improved. He still doesn't prioritize me, and I'm left feeling like I'm not important to him. I've repeated myself too many times, and I'm getting tired of it. I feel like I'm just going through the motions of our relationship without any real connection or effort from him. The complicating factor is that we live together, and I'm not on the lease. If I leave, I'll be homeless. I love him, but I'm torn between sacrificing stability and my well-being. To make matters worse, during our brief breakup, I stayed with my then best friend. However, our friendship ended due to the circumstances, and I'm still grieving that loss. I'm desperate for advice and guidance on what to do next. Jerry, I'd appreciate your wisdom and advice on the situation. I know I'm not a child, but I'm seeking a fatherly perspective to help me navigate this difficult time.
It is okay to seek thoughts. And it's not being a child, it's being a human being and being a person of wisdom to say, what are my options?
Yeah.
Especially when you're questioning it. Justin and I were getting out of the car and we were talking about some of the stories that might happen. And we came up with a term. It's thank you very much. Next. And the reality is that your bells are telling you everything that you got to do about moving on, except there's one thing. You're feared. Fear is keeping you in a negative relationship. Don't let fear win. You need to go. You need to start a new life. He is obviously not locked in enough to have the behavior of what somebody does when they're in love and they're courting and they have a partnership with somebody. They want to be a part of their life. They're not worried about gaming. They're worried about spending time with you and growing with you. And this is unacceptable, this behavior. And there might be people out there that'll say, Jerry, how could you say it's unacceptable? Half the people in this world go, come home and they have their gaming and they do their stuff.
But you need balance, right?
That is correct. So that all said, the fact that you broke up and you got back together, something was telling you that this thing is a wrap. And now you're keeping score. And I say, as soon as you start keeping score, game over. You're going to have to go out and find a place to rent. I don't know if you work and you got any kind of income. You're going to go see if there's any roommate availability. You're going to find a place to go get out of there and where you can walk out with whatever you got and say, later gator. This isn't working for me. And he'll say, but honey, I'll change. I asked you to change. You haven't been listening. You're not hearing me. And because now I'm speaking loud because I'm walking out the door, I am out the door. Good luck. If you feel that you can get my attention again, I'm not coming back quick. I don't know if I'll ever come back. Right now, my intent is to leave and go forward in my life. And go focus on your life. Focus on healing. Focus getting to be a whole you. Focus on getting your job. Focus on making some money. Focus on the things that you need to do to be your own person. And then you're healthy. And then you start seeing who comes around in your life, what the universe brings you.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be whole. And you don't have to make a decision to go into a relationship because you need a place to stay. Or you're lonely. You'll be full. You'll have yourself. You got to have yourself first before you can share yourself with somebody else.
Yeah. And, we don't have all the context. We can't talk to you, but I'm just, I'm sure you've had these thoughts, but gut reaction from me is, are there any other friends? Is there family? Are you, do you live away from family? Just what really are all of your options? Like, have you laid them all out? Because Even how you were saying you feel childish in a way asking for fatherly advice, are you afraid to reach out and say, hey, parents or parent, I may need a place for a little bit?
Hmm.
It's, I don't think it's ever wrong. I think your parents are there for a reason, or friends, or I know you don't have your best friend at this time, but
You can certainly find out what's going on with that best friend. It,
maybe, I mean, we don't know.
we don't know.
We don't know the context around it, but just any possible things. And at the very least, just being able to start setting up for your move out.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily have to right now listen to this episode, turn to it and be like, we're done, and walk out the door.
I
You've been in here, you have a place to live right now. There's got to be some time limit, but at least start trying to get your ducks in a row in a way to where you can make this move.
Yeah, like if you can't find family or friends, I really do believe there are roommate options out there. I used to know of a place called Roommate Finders. I don't know if they exist still, but I'm sure there's
Definitely, yeah.
stuff out there. And you, whatever, I don't know if you're working or not working. Again, we don't know.
Yeah, right.
So figure it out. If you're not working, go see if you can possibly get a job and start being. I really think it's healthy to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you really start your ability of being exactly a whole person for yourself. You got to be your own machine,
Yeah, because
and
you never know.
and give that a shot and see where you go, because there are sales jobs all over the place, and they'll train you.
Yeah.
Get training. When Lauren first came here, she never did it. She immediately got into sales, and she has developed quite nicely. And Alejandra did the same thing, and
Mhm.
then grew. And it didn't matter what the first job was. It was just getting your feet wet and getting that machine going.
Yep.
And they had fun. They loved it.
Yeah, because then you meet people, you start networking.
It happens.
It gets the ball rolling,
It does.
and you really can do that at any point.
It's positive too.
Especially, you're 20. Well,
She's 25.
yeah, it's never too late for anybody, but
Mm-mm.
you're really,
It's
you're at the
perfect.
perfect age right now.
Mm-hmm. Great age to start.
So it is possible. You will get there. Just start really trying to, get the dominoes lined up.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
We're going to number 4.
Number 4.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4.
We have a long one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm a weekly THT and FKS listener and want to express my gratitude to both crews and all of the beautiful souls that make up each community. So happy each and every one of you exist.
So happy together.
That's it's all of us and the listeners, everyone. That's like our motto right there.
How is the weather? La da da. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I, 25 female, began dating Jason, 26 male, in October of 2024. And after typing up a few drafts full of too much detail of our situations and asking what I should do, I'm instead leaning into my intuition and heart versus my mind and ego, writing to ask for opinions on what most will likely agree on when and how to break up with Jason.
Okay.
A few weeks into October, I saw an OnlyFans link. I asked him if he had an account or subscriptions, and he said no. I have nothing against OnlyFans or porn. I would just prefer my partner to not be paying for any subscriptions while in a relationship with me. The night before New Year's Eve, I'm about to fall asleep when the whole OnlyFans thing pops back into my mind. I felt like he was very short with me and may be lying, even though he often has talked about how honesty is so important in relationships. New Year's Eve, I ask him if I can check in because it's something that's come to mind and I want to communicate any anxieties or thoughts that I'm having. I go on to ask if he has an account or any subscriptions, and he says nope and just grins. I'm a very observant person, so yeah, I just felt in my gut that he was lying. But I let it go because I didn't want to ruin the holiday. This time of year is always full of heavy emotions for me. This wave of depression began just before Christmas, and heavy waves of grief tend to last into the end of February. I lost a beautiful friend and my beautiful mother just days apart 5 years ago. My mind is really getting the best of me about how he was lying. And I knew I could just look through his phone if I asked, but I also know that if he's been lying after being so insistent on how much he hates lying about anything to anyone, that he wouldn't just show me. So I looked through his phone about 2 weeks after New Year's. Found a lot of girls on Snapchat that he has had past relationships with, some nude photos saved. Whatever, I'll just ask him to go through and clean that up. Go to OnlyFans and click sign in with Google, and there you go. Account and all of his purchases. One from November 5th. Bought when I was either in his bed in the morning or when he was not responding to me for the night once I had gone home. Again, kind of whatever. We were a month into our relationship, but he lied about it being deleted. Why? When I asked him about it the next day, he continued to lie, saying it was deleted.
Double down, and double down.
He said that if I wanted to look, I could when I come over the next night. I said, okay. He pulls up the login page and goes, well, see? So I asked to see the phone. Of course, it was deleted, along with all of his Safari history. I told him I looked through his phone and I felt like shit about it, but I knew he wouldn't let me actually log into the account if he went this far to hide it. He then got pissed off and went silent for 2 hours until I said I was going to leave since it seemed he needed space. Then, of course, he could talk to me about it for a bit, which was really just me talking and him saying, okay, I'm a piece of shit. I get it. What now? The next day, we go snowboarding. Could over-explain about the bad morning we had and about how I really felt the need to leave, but instead, I'll just tell you about how him and his friends were drinking, and it was Jason and I's first time snowboarding. We were there 4 to 9 p.m., and I spent maybe 2 hours total with them because Jason picked it up right away, and I was having a straight panic attack, not understanding how to do anything because his friends did not teach us at all. We just went right up to the Black Diamond slope. I told him to try and let me practice, and he ditched me basically the entire time. He insisted on talking about it that night at home after him and his friends were laughing, rating how mad I was, even though I said it wasn't a good idea to talk because he's been drinking all day. As I was calmly and kindly trying to explain my perspective and how I understand that he was just having a great time with his friends and probably didn't realize how much time was going by, he kept cutting me off very loud, multiple times, so I snapped and asked him to stop speaking over me. He got frustrated and quiet, and I said maybe I should go home even though it was like midnight. He argued with me in a not nice tone for another 20 minutes until I finally was like, just go to bed because I'm exhausted and my body is killing me. We talked about it a little bit the next morning. It was just me repeating everything I said to him the night before because he was too drunk to remember anything I said, like he does some nights because he drinks beer every night. And then anytime I try to bring it up, he gets upset, says it's dwelling. But all he ever did was apologize. What resolutions and communication skills have been improved on? Nothing. Another week and a half goes by and he FaceTimes me. I'm sharing my screen and showing him some of my old Instagram posts when he gets quiet and I notice he's doing something on his phone. He brings up how he doesn't appreciate that. I have photos and videos with my ex on my page. They are years back, and I post often, so it's not like anybody's going to see it unless they're really, really searching. I understand his feelings. I don't understand why he had a disgusted look on his face and had to be kind of harsh about it and cut me off when I was trying to explain. I also don't understand why he got so upset when I genuinely couldn't care less about the countless girls he still had contact with and a few with fun photos. So here are my thoughts. His ways of communicating are not for me. He's unable to be present because of consuming alcohol basically daily. I don't drink at all. I just smoke weed. So I know that's a huge lifestyle difference as well. I don't want to just be giving up. He's willing to make changes for me, or so he says. But I don't want to change someone or have them want to change mainly because of me. A piece of me wants to wonder if the state of my mental health is amplifying all this, but I feel like a part of me is 99% sure that he's not willing to live a totally present life full of growth and healing. What do I do? When do I do it? How do I do it? Thank you so much. I don't meet my new therapist for another month.
I have the answer for you, and you actually have everything in place to do it. If you have any clothes or any possessions at this guy's house, get them, put them in your car, go back to where you live and live happily ever after without this guy. Normally I don't get this, critical on somebody, but you got to have some self-respect for yourself. You got to know that you don't deserve, or should anyone be in a relationship with a guy that is this way. Purely. As soon as he lied to you the first time, that's when you walk the door and you let them say, if there's a reason that even remotely would excuse the lie, you might want to say, give them maybe a second shot. But this thing is consistent. This is a way of life. Yeah. This whole thing is a way of life. This is so toxic and so bad. There's no discussion. You don't owe this guy even an explanation. All you owe yourself is to get out the door, drive home, and lose the number.
Right. Which, in the beginning, she said, in writing so many drafts of this, I realize what I need to do.
Just do it.
So let's go through the questions. What do I do?
Pack your bags and leave, period.
When do I do it?
Now. Yesterday.
How do I do it?
Go get your bags, pack them, and go. If there's anything there.
I know, but
that's it. You don't owe him an explanation. You don't talk to him. You don't need to. Just, you want to leave a note. Say, I am done. Thank you very much. Next. I love that.
That's your new thing, huh?
On this, this was obvious. I'm really concerned for you that you would allow it to go this long. And I don't mean to come down hard on you, but this is so bad that you need to have more self-respect for yourself. You can't do this. You can't let somebody take advantage of you and make it almost seem like it's your fault.
Yeah.
He lied to you again, and then he decided to be mad that you looked through his phone. Well,
right, but obviously, he deleted it before she came the next time. Classic. Not knowing she had already seen.
And the more that he doubles down, this is a term I've learned in the last couple of years, double down, double down, double down, double down, and double down again until people believe it.
But this is a very good lesson to learn. And this is why it's important to get out there and date and meet a bunch of different people, because you learn what you don't want and what is not functional in a relationship.
That is correct. So take this as a good lesson.
It's not time lost. And I think a lot of times we all look back on bad relationships like, oh, I wasted so much time. I wasted my 20s. But in all reality, it made you who you are today.
Yes.
And that experience is what ends up leading you to be Jerry.
And Jerry's had a lot of investment. Trust me. Dump the dude now. Don't even go back. If it's only a pair of jeans and a pair of shoes and a sock, abandon them, leave them. Don't even go back. I'm so infuriated with it. It's like, please do not give the guy the time of day. He's not entitled to it. You want people that are honest. It's okay to have a relationship and have strain. And even not have the relationship work out, but not where you're lying to each other, where you're purposely trying to deceive the individual for whatever their own gain is. And that is the problem. Yeah, that's where the breakdown is of respect. Out, gone, done, through.
Well, let us know how you do it, when you do it. Okay,
number 5.
Hi, Jerry, Morgan, and Justin, all the way from Ireland.
Oh, I love Ireland.
I'm a 30-year-old female, and I've been dating a 31-year-old male for almost 3 years. He has decided to end our relationship as he does not see us ever living together. I have my own place and he lives with his parents. He is an introvert and I'm definitely more of an outgoing person. I have family and friends visit me at least once or twice weekly, and he says he can't handle it. He wants it to be just me and him, and also my 7-year-old son, who he has formed a great relationship with. He is currently receiving treatment for his mental health, and I've supported him throughout the relationship with his struggles. He has asked me if I would give him a few months to allow medication to work. He has been on medication 4 weeks now. He says he could change his mind and move in with me, just at the moment he can't see it happening. So, what do I do? The way I see it, if he wanted to, he would, and he shouldn't have to go off and think about it. I love him so much, and I definitely want to spend the rest of my life with him, but am I wasting my time waiting around?
This is a decision only you can make. When you love somebody, sometimes we find excuses that we want to take care of them because the good outweighs the difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to do it and it's not triggering you. If this is triggering you, that's a whole different ball game. And this is a decision that you get to make. Is this what you want for your life? It's real. What you are looking at is real.
Yep.
And the possibility is it might be better as you go forward. It might be exactly what it is going forward. And then it might even get worse as it goes forward. Now, again, these are decisions and choices you get to make. You can certainly take some time and find yourself healed because remember, you just came out of a 3-year relationship. Spend time with your son because there'll be some adjustment because your son is going to be attached.
Mm-hmm.
And make that decision. Do I move forward or not? I can't give you that answer.
Well, let's add this here. Ideal outcome, I want him to take the next step in our relationship and move in with me and my son. Additional info. He is also very attached to his mom and has told me he would find it hard to leave her. We only live 15 minutes away from his mom, so it's not like he can't visit her. He also wants to still come to my place once a week to spend time with my son. My son wants this too, as he absolutely idolizes him. He says he still loves me and wants to be with me, but he can't as we both want different things in life. He said he wanted the same things as me, but a few months ago, he changed his mind, but didn't know how to bring it up to me.
Walk. Now it's time. And I'm sorry about the relationship that he has with your son. You know, you need to have a relationship with somebody that is committed to you, and together you commit to your son.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know enough about history here to advise anything different.
Right.
It just seems that he already wrote what his desire is, and now all you have to do is implement it. You got pulled over for a ticket, and the guy just let you go with a warning.
I mean, that is the biggest piece here.
It's a huge piece.
He said he wanted the same things, and then he changed his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want someone that's really debating if they want to be with you and then says, no, not really.
And he still wants to hang out with her son.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just kind of,
I don't know what that means.
I mean,
that it's almost scary to me.
It could be.
The bottom line is that
it's hard to know.
There are certainly triggers that make my eyes go up.
Yeah.
The fact that he pulled you over for the ticket and gave you the warning and said you can walk, I say don't walk, run. And just now it's time to move forward in life. And then you'll see, far as a friendship, if there's a friendship or anything, hey, if that happens later on, great. But right now you need to heal. It's too icky. It's an icky gig right now.
It's messy.
You have the ability of walking. take it. Take this pass. And that's my opinion. But you can certainly ask, you can read all the comments. I'm sure there'll be a lot of action on all these, and I would read them. That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
We're going to do one last one here.
Oh, we are you're going to squeeze in number 6?
We're doing one last one.
Let's go.
Okay. Number
6.
6.
6.
I want advice on when to let someone go. I love your show and the advice you give. So, Dad, my last relationship destroyed me, and I had a miscarriage when we broke up, so I was single for 4 years working on myself, and I recently met a guy that treats me great, the best I've ever been treated, gives me compliments, and is always there. Well, it's been about a week since we talked. I really like him still, and I have no idea what's going on. Like, if he's in jail, if he's alive. I haven't heard anything, and the last time I saw him, he asked me to be his girlfriend. So, I'm so confused. How long do you think I should wait to see if he reaches out before I let him go?
And she can't call him.
Ideal outcome, hopefully hear from him soon or just move on with my life. Additional info. We are both 26. I really liked him a lot. We did hook up. That's about it. I don't know if I got ghosted or something happened.
It seems weird.
It does. Because a week is a bit of time.
Oh, no. Not when you say, will you be my girlfriend? You just don't go dark. I mean, but the question is, why doesn't she have his number?
I don't know what the situation is.
Well, you're supposed to know this.
I just,
Why don't you know
I'm not
this?
going to make it up.
Why don't you know it? The answer is, if you don't know how to get a hold of him, then you let it go.
Well, and maybe let's put it in the scenario that
your
calls aren't going through, your texts aren't being replied to.
You move on. That's all. And if he shows up, you'll say, well, God, I haven't heard from you.
You think a week's long enough? You think that's
well, how long have they been together? A week? A night? She doesn't know him anything. She can take it exactly the way it is. He just vanished. So don't lose your shit over it. Just recognize that this guy was there today and he's gone tomorrow. And if he shows up and he has a really good excuse, but I mean, people don't enter a relationship that they like somebody today and they're in love tomorrow. Typically, I mean, they might be infatuated tomorrow, but it's not really that normal.
Right. Unless he, is like some wild hiking person and got lost in the woods and didn't have service and then gets found.
Yeah, go on with your life. If you go on a date or you go out and you go bowling or you go needle pointing, whatever you do, go on with life. And in the next, in whatever happens, whoever you're with, whatever going on, you hear from this person, they say, I hope you're okay. I hope you've healed from falling off a cliff. And then hear what he's got to say. You're going to get an idea if it's real or not real.
Right. But in all reality, if this is a ghosting situation, I think it is advantageous that it happened as early as it possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
Not a day later. It's already happened. Hard part's over. And yeah, it sucks. Because I think about with these, when I first met Morgan and within the first few weeks or the first month, if she had ghosted me, I would have been wrecked, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're heartbroken, you heal, you move forward, because the reality is you're going to find someone else that treats you great. And like you hear, the best you've ever been treated, maybe better than that, compliments, and is always there for you. You will find that.
It just seems like the last thing I expected is probably the same with her, with all this wonderful treatment and this attention, is for him just to disappear.
And especially right after the question.
So you just don't know what to really think if he was married. There's so many things that go on out there.
That's true. It's scary. Dating is scary.
Look, I've met people that I have absolutely fallen crazy for them. And, I'm the kind of guy that, when I fall crazy, it's real. I don't bullshit with them. And then I really go to see what happens. I give the relationship some time. And, when I was young, it didn't matter. I would still date everybody in the world at the same time. You get older, you get more seasoned to the part saying it's just too difficult. I'd rather just focus and see if this person really can be my person.
Yeah.
And you write it out. And then as soon as you realize it's not going to be your person, you say, I tried. I really wanted to see where we would go, but I've really discovered that we are not that couple.
Yeah.
And we don't want to waste another moment. We're going to end this thing right now. I'm going to give it dignity. Is the way I look in my brain. Give it dignity.
And that kind of honestly ties all of these together. That's where we're at with a lot of these stories, is wondering if it's time to break up, knowing it's time to break up and wondering how to do it, when to do it. A lot of these have that kind of woven through them.
Some of them deserve the dignity to really say, you're a good person.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. Some of them don't even deserve that.
Some of them deserve the thank you next, or not even the thank you next, not even that.
Just leave the tennis shoes and say, if you miss me, just put them under your pillow, but don't call, don't write. I'm done, because a lot of them had no respect.
Yeah,
and that's the way I view that. So I hope everyone enjoyed the show, and thanks for listening. Thanks for writing in. And certainly look for us on the other side in the backyard.
Yes.
For Patreon. Yes. We have levels 1 and 2.
Yes.
And I do believe at the end of the month, we are going to have the group teas. We're going to be doing 2 this year, this coming time. We're going to be doing an hour with me, with Father Knows. And then we're going to do an hour with Morgan with 2 hot takes.
Yes.
So we hope you'll join on both of them. It'll be great.
We'll see you in the backyard. And thank you next.
Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Next.
Goodbye.